Hey, welcome to Best of US's Platinum Swinging Trading review. Today, we're going to talk about some of the stocks that Mark just released on the watch list, and we're going to see how they did so far today, this being Monday, the 31st of July. So let's get to it.
Hi, Trent. How's it going?
It's good. How are you?
Good, good. Always interesting, the markets every day. And today we're up a little bit. Of course, this is Monday, last day of July, and we did pretty well this month as far as the swing trading, paper trading portfolio. We had 16 trades and 15 were up, and one was down. We went over that a little bit over in the Zoom call last Friday. Today, let's look at, I analyze and look at quite a few stocks over the weekend, and then every day on the stock watch list channel of our platinum channel. I'll bring out stocks that I think look like they have a good chance or probability of having some positive moves. Not that it's financial advice or anything, but let's go take a look, and we'll just go through the morning of what happened today, and we'll take a look at the stocks if that's okay.
That sounds like a great idea.
So this is our Discord for Best of Us Investors, and under the Discord we'll have a couple areas for Platinum Channel. You can see Platinum Channel here and a Platinum Channel Education here. We have announcements, our spreadsheets where we share stocks if someone wants to share a stock, and a stock watch list. We have our watch list that we put out every Monday morning, trading alerts, guru portfolios. Every day I try to come in here before market open, and we'll go to a stock watch list, which is right here. And this is this morning's post. We were talking about earnings season, and last week on the Zoom call, we talked about how at least my trading guidelines tell me to get out prior to earnings. And as I was looking through several hundred stocks this weekend, a lot of the stocks that I would have put on a watch list had earnings this week. So I put on here, it makes no sense to consider a position until after the earnings report. And I put in here an example would be Andy or Anderson Farms, which reports tomorrow. Okay, today is the last day of July. Said price action has moved steadily up, bouncing between the 9 support and the upper Bollinger Band resistance for quite some time. So let's go take a look and see what happened today in Andy. So here's the chart of Anderson Farms, Anderson 8. And you can see here's where I was looking at the chart. You can see it's rolling along its upper Bollinger Band and bouncing off the 9. And here before market opens, when we put out our announcement that, probably wouldn't want to really get into this because tomorrow is earnings. And so if we would have got into it somewhere towards the open, you would have lost a little bit of your price action as it went back down to the 9. Of course, tomorrow's earnings, we'll see what happens tomorrow. We can go down and see the RSI kind of rolled over, the stochastic rolled over, and also we're seeing a little rollover here on the MACD. So we'll wait until after earnings to see what happens with this particular stock. So going back to our stock watch list channel, the next thing I noticed this weekend as I was going through stocks is that the regional banks have really been showing a lot of price action strength over the past several weeks. The regional banks went down when Silicon Valley Bank went down, and they've been flat after they dropped down. And so I've been watching them for a while. And so I was watching some stocks, I said, like Ozark, support is at the 9 with resistance at about 45.27. And I also said both CADE and BKU have seen price action break through the 200-day SMA with positive back tests of that level. So the 200-day is now providing a level of support. So watch for resistance levels as you can expect some selling at that point. So let's go take a look at these 3 stocks. So here's a Bank of the Ozarks. You see here is last Friday's close. We're above the 9. You can see here's the 200 on those. The Bank of the Ozarks is kind of following through the Bollinger Bands. So we put it on the stock watch list right at this point here, which would have been about 43.74. And you can see it kind of did a little range bop down to the 9 and closed right about at our where we put it on the watch list. We still have some good oscillator action down here. We'll see what happens, see if we can get this to pop up and maybe get out up here at resistance at this level up here where the upper Bollinger Band is. Let's take a look over at CADE. Get this to come up. There we go. So here on Cade, this is where we uh, put it on the watch list. It was at 24.77. Today it closed up about over a percent at 25.05. You can see you have a little bit more to go up to about 25.48 up here, where you're going to find some sell resistance. So these smaller stocks, these regional banks, have a smaller window to go on the upside. But if we can get past this sell, here's your intermediate resistance up at this level at $27. So again, you can see how the regional stocks were going sideways, and then they got above the 9, and they've just over the last several weeks on the daily chart here been moving up. And Cade itself had just crossed over and closed above the 200, which has caught my attention. The other one that we mentioned this morning is Bank United. You can see Bank United came up and had several 3 days of support on the 200-day simple moving average. So that's where we put it on the watch list. At this point, it was about 29.72. You can see today it closed at 29.84. And you're not going to get a lot of movement on some of these stocks, but you have a ways to come up before we hit some selling pressure about 31.48. So we're playing for about a point on some of these, but you have the momentum, you have it, you're above the 200, you're above the 9, you have some good action on your oscillators. So these regional banks have been pretty good over the last several weeks.
Did you hear about Kansas Heartland Tri-City Bank?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, got taken over.
I think that went into receivership last Friday.
Yeah, by FDIC took it over. Yeah, it was a small bank. It's like 139 million in assets, but still, it's interesting. They said I think if I remember right, it was they were so underwater on their asset, or the hold to maturity assets. So I'm curious to see what happens with the small and regional bank system right now.
It's interesting how, I mean, while we're on the subject, let's just go look at that chart real quick.
Okay.
The KRE. Yeah. Because this is kind of how I found it. This is kind of my method to my madness. Is I went and I looked at a lot of just the sectors, and here's the KRE, and you can see it just, ever since it's dumped, it's been really in this sideways trading pattern, and then all of a sudden, you see it broke over the 9. A lot of these banks we just looked at, and you see it's just following above the 9, between the 9 and the Bollinger Band. We are getting to a point, where we're going to hit some resistance here, and then this one is actually under the 200-day simple moving average. So I'll be watching this one, see if it can break through that. If it can break through the 200, then you might see some more movement, and there's quite a few stocks that'll follow in on this. And you can just go to the KRE and look what's inside of it and check out the stocks if you want. There's quite a few. I think I have 3 pages of symbols underneath this ETF. Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a big holding of regionals. Gives you a better idea, though, as it approaches that 200. If it doesn't have the ability to punch through the 200, then it's, I think, an overall good sign that there potentially may be more pain to come in the small and mid-sized banking industry.
Could be. So we went through our regional banks, and then the last thing that we really looked at is I found of interest was CRWD. It closed above the 9-day SMA, where it's found support. And it looks to be some selling pressure about 160. And earnings aren't until the end of August, so I don't have to worry about earnings and getting out. So let's go take a look at this particular position and see what it did today. So here's CrowdStrike. You can see here's where we put it on the list. This was last Friday's chart, and you can see what happened today. We gapped up. I actually thought it would have hit, the selling pressure here and back down, and it went through the selling pressure and went up to the intermediate resistance line, went above it and came back down. So the resistance line actually worked. You can see we hit over here too. So technically, I would, getting into this stock, I would probably have gotten out either at this point or part of it, or at this point and taken my profits on this particular stock. Now we'll watch it tomorrow and see if it can get past this intermediate resistance, or it just keeps bouncing on it like we've seen here before. You can see we got some strength on the MACD. Our RSI is good. We got a nice positive stochastic. So you know, why not give it a shot? We've got a good uh, cost basis down here. So tomorrow, if you got into something like this, you put in a stop limit below uh, current price and above your cost basis, and you're pretty much guaranteed, uh, you know, a profit on this trade here.
Cool. That's awesome. So really, this
Yep. So
this
that's what we
video,
do. It's
yeah, this video going up on Tuesday. We're gonna see. This will go up on Tuesday night, so we'll see what actually happened on Tuesday. Since this was shot on today, Monday, and
yep.
we could see some good profits by the end of the week in some of these positions.
Yeah, and you can go. We have a couple watch lists on the Platinum channel, and those come out every Monday morning before open. And they look like they did pretty well today too. I didn't get a chance to look at them yet, but they look like they did pretty well for one
Awesome.
day. But you know how the markets go.
Yeah. Well, it is the end of the month, and it's that end of the month markup kind of situation. So, we'll
Absolutely.
see how the month of August starts. And so far, hopefully we're on the right track, and we'll continue to see some upward movement in stocks.
That's why we use stop limits, to
That's
preserve
right.
our gains and to reduce the amount of our loss. So that's the name of the game in swing trading.
Awesome. Take the profits when you got them, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a good lesson, isn't it, Trent?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. All right. Well, thank you for joining us today at Best of US's Platinum Swing Trading video that we post every Tuesday, where we review all the investments that Mark is finding on his watch list, horizon list, and 200 below the 200-day moving list, which is a more aggressive list. Please hit the subscribe button, and if you want to subscribe to the Platinum Swing Trading Program, you can do that by clicking the link below. And soon, here in this week, hopefully, we will have our website up, so you can subscribe there and see the different services we provide. But we really appreciate you coming out and watching our video today. Have a great week.